I was at a place, Savory, Wyoming. It's called the Antelope Retreat Center, and I helped do workshops there on Native American spirituality and sweat lodges and whatever people needed to understand. And during that time, I had a visitation from 3 star people. There was, and one was like a spirit, you could say, a guide. And they had a bar that was similar to this, but it was more goldish plated. And it was about 6 feet long. And it had the symbols on there. Now, when they started to tell me about the symbols, they were talking in another language, you know, the star languages, and I could understand everything that they were saying. But I was in my ego, and on internal levels, I was thinking, wow, I could understand these guys. They're talking a different language, but I could understand them. So that got in the way of what I should have been listening to. So I had to go back and do a series of ceremonies to get that information back. Because what happened was these symbols come from 11th dimensional area, and we're 3D here, okay? And bringing back information from the other side is just like, what do you call those little funnel things, you know, from 11 dimensions into 3D. You're going to leave something behind. So that's what happened. So I had to go through a series of things. But before this took place, I remembered those bars, and they were stuck in my psyche. I became obsessed with them. And at the same time, I was trying to create an existence, you could say. I was a teacher back on our reservation. And during that time, I tried to stay away from computers as much as possible. So what happened, my boss said, we have to create a database for our language. Our language, we're losing our language, our Dakota language. So we need to record, type them all in and put them in the computer. So I said, oh, okay. So I called a friend over in San Diego. I asked him to set up a workshop, a mini workshop fast for me on computers and teach me how to do them in a weekend. So he said, okay. Okay. So the school went for it, gave me a free trip to San Diego from South Dakota. On the way, I drove into Nevada, right on the border town, Mesquite, Nevada. And I stopped, and I was going to rest, and at the same time I wanted to see if I could make a little bit of money. And so when I got out of the car, I walked up to the casino, and before I was going to go in, there was a little piece of paper that rolled in front of me. So I had a vision. I seen this big owl, you know, that stands there and has a little green cap. He says, give a hoot, don't pollute. So I grabbed that piece of paper, and I was gonna throw it in the trash. But I looked at it, and on there had International UFO Conference, Mesquite, Nevada. So I turned it over and had a layout of all the buildings there. Then it had an X here, and it had a little legend on where things were to be. So I was looking at that, and I was looking at those buildings, and it was in that direction over there. So I decided to go over there.
Did you say okay?
Yeah. So I went there, and I went in, and it was quiet. I could hear somebody talking in another room, and the vending tables, I've seen pictures of UFOs and posters, books and videos. So I moseyed around, and I finally went up to the desk. Asked that lady, "What's going on in there?" She said, "They're having lectures." Okay. "Who's next?" She said, "Dr. Ronnie Kilday, the ex-Surgeon General of Finland." So I said, "How much?" She said, $15. So I was thinking about if I should just go over to the casino. I think I could double this. So I just paid her, and so I waited. Then it was like a movie theater. A door opened up, everybody ran out. You know, like how you guys do when you go out this door and come in. You know, So I waited till everybody came out. Then I come back in and I sat down in front. Then everybody started filling up the room again. So she comes and talks, and she talked and talked, and then one thing I noticed is that she was speaking, what she was talking about was everything that I experienced. And I was listening to her, and I understood everything she was saying. And then there was a question in my mind was, why am I sitting here? You know, I should be speaking. I experienced exactly the same thing. So then I figured it out. She has little letters at the end of her name. Little letters. MD, PhD, all these little fancy letters. So I said, well, I got to get my own letters. Then somebody will listen to me. So I ended up talking, you know, I thought about that, but it got to the point where I was standing in Denver, Colorado, 750 scientists, you know, Zachariah Sitchin sitting here, John Lilly was sitting here, the whole crew was there. And before I got on stage, they gave me a booklet about that thick. So I said, what is this? They said, these are the names of everybody that's out there going to listen to you. So I opened it up, and they had a lot of little letters at the end of their name. So I got really intimidated. So when they introduced me, I went up there. I said, hello, my name is Lauren Zephyr. I put AGD in there, but Spirit wants me to speak as standing elk. Okay. So I began speaking. Then about the fifth row, somebody went like this. So I said, yes. And I thought they were going to ask a really important question. They said, we don't know what 8GD is. I said, well, that's, you know, this is your system. You have all the degrees, certificates, and diplomas. Figure that out. So I started talking again. Then, down about 15 minutes later, somebody stood up way in the back. Sir? Yes. And I thought they were listening to me talking. We don't know what 8GD is. So I said, 8th grade diploma. So I have little letters at the end of my name.
For more information on the next Star Knowledge Conference, call Alan at 818-661-7437 or go to starknowledgeconference.com.